We are now off to fan favorites, shout outs and rants. As I said before, we'll keep the same order. Jonathan Armstrong, Matt Kelly, Jonathan Marks, Mary Inman, Jay Rosen, and I will bat number 6 for this one. So, Mr. Armstrong, do you have a shout out and or rant for us?
Yeah, I have a shout out to Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. Now, if you believe the media, the royal family are in crisis, but up steps Kate, perhaps inspired by the excellent media management track history of her sister-in-law, and tries to resolve it all with one click of the Photoshop mouse. I'm not sure it worked out that well, but I guess the serious message for compliance officers is crisis management is a game for professionals and not amateurs. So you might be great at being a princess, but maybe leave the Photoshop to someone else.
I have to say the bar is set. Matt Kelly.
So I am going to give a shout out to Republican Congressman Ken Buck, who has just resigned from Congress. I think today, in fact, if not today, then early next week. I am not shouting out, but just because he is resigning, although there are many Republicans I would do handsprings if they resign from Congress because they're so terrible. Ken Buck was not one of them. But he did resign because he basically said that his party in Congress is a mess, which is correct. And he was opposed to impeaching the Homeland Security Secretary, Mr. Mayorkas, who really had done no impeachable offense, but Republicans basically said, we're just going to do it anyways because we can't not now that we've said that we would. And then they nearly screwed that up. And so he resigned because that was stupid. He resigned because their sham impeachment of President Biden, the inquiry, has gone nowhere. He also said that was stupid. Biden hadn't done anything impeachable. And then he also pointed out that, look, Republicans, Donald Trump lost in 2020, and pretending it is not so doesn't change the fact that he lost in 2020. And we Republicans are being so dumb about this. I've had it. I'm out. It was a refreshing bit of intellectual candor from Republicans, who generally are the most intellectually dishonest people in Congress these days in a long time. And I will say I'm sorry that he is the one who's resigning. There are so many others who should, because they shouldn't be there. I don't know what he might plan to do next. I don't agree with a lot of his political views, but I hope he doesn't go away, because he does at least have enough common sense to know when his party is being a mess. And good for him for calling it out. I'm sad to see him go, and I'm glad to see him stand up at the same time. So thank you, Mr. Buck.
Mr. Marks.
So I'm on a good faith roll. Last week, I think, or a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the garbage man who ran into the burning building and saved a family. This week, I like to talk about a McDonald's worker and another passerby who saved an individual in York in the UK who was having a heart attack, and actually used the training that they received to save the individual. So actually took out the defibrillator and actually saved the guy. So it's nice to see that people out there are concerned about humanity and helping one another. And so I just think those types of things brighten my day when I see those going on, considering the mess and all the other things that we read about and see about every day on television.
Special Jay Rosen, do you have a shout out and or rant for us?
I have a mild rant to Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. Bill Bradley was a very highly successful senator. We've had actors in there before, Al Franken, Fred Dalton Thompson, but I'm not looking forward to hearing any of Aaron Rodgers' gobbledygook about anti-vaxxing and Sandy Hook didn't happen. So I guess if RFK wants to put him on his ticket, that's fine, but I'm not listening.
My shout out is for the date. We are recording this March 15th, the Ides of March. And further to the Shakespeare play, Julius Caesar. I was privileged to see a production of this play in the 90s at the Alley Theater in Houston, starring Corin Redgrave and Vanessa Redgrave. And as you might guess, with two actors of that stature, it was a fabulous production. After the show, both Vanessa and Corin were having a drink, and I went over and asked if I could get their autographs, and they invited us to sit at their table and visit with them. They could not have been more gracious. For those who don't study or read Shakespeare, it's some good history, And if you think about the Ides of March and what it means today, I think it's still relevant. So I want to shout out to the Ides of March. I want to shout out to William Shakespeare. I want to shout out to Corin and Vanessa Redgrave for putting on a fabulous performance in the hinterlands of Houston, Texas. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great show. We've had our highest number of listeners for our live event, and I can't wait till we do it again. So thank everyone.